Hi everyone, so welcome to the TinkerCAD Challenge tutorial. If you have never seen the TinkerCAD Challenge before, and if you have just registered, your new register, welcome to the challenge. Every month since October, I've been posting different videos of different things you can do in TinkerCAD and the different creations you can create. And every month there's been a different challenge, and what I do is I just post the tutorials, but you are welcome to take that challenge to whatever comfort level you feel fit to. For example, this is a relatively easy challenge to do. This is the keychain challenge. So this is my keychain. It's printed out with a 3D printer, and I made this out of TinkerCAD, and I'm going to show you how to make this as well. So when you register for TinkerCAD, that takes you to the library registration page, but there's also a TinkerCAD classroom registration. Once you create an account through TinkerCAD and it asks you to join a class, you can put in that code and it'll take you right into the library classroom. You only have to do this once, and you won't see anyone else's work and they won't see yours. This is just for me to easily download and print out the file for the 3D printer. I welcome all new TinkerCAD challengers. This month, being February, is going to be a great beginner challenge for anyone who's never done TinkerCAD before or anyone who's never played on that website. Check out the intro video I have as well. You can see some helpful guides on how to navigate through TinkerCAD, what you can do to get started if you've never done any 3D creation program before. They have great step-by-step tutorials that you could see the outline of something, and it just asks you to step-by-step place the object on a plane, make the object, scale the object, make it move. It is a great website that really walks you through everything. And if you want to challenge yourself, there are some other things on there too that they have like different lessons, like just fun stuff all around that you could try out. Please join me if you would like on February 13th for the live Zoom tutorial. It's at 12 p.m. You would have to register for that as well, so you can get the link as soon as I have it open and ready to go. And come on in, we'll do the same keychain tutorial as I do in the video, and then I will leave it open for questions if you have any questions along the way. All right, other than that, welcome new challengers, welcome returning challengers, and I hope you enjoy the keychain month of February. Thank you. The first thing you want to do is pick out a basic shape you want to drag onto the work plane. Here I'm dragging a box and I'm going to resize it. So lengthwise I'm dragging it out to a 50, and then height I'm going to change it to, height I'm going to drag it down to a 5. So another option you can do, you could take out the cylinder one and make it like a dog tag type style, or even make it a dog tag for your dog or cat. So I'm going to show you another alternative to make it into a keychain ring in that sense. The bevel rounds the edges, you don't really worry about that, same with the segments. So I'm taking it down to a 5, just like the box shape, and then changing the size to a 30 by 30 just for now. You can always change your sizes later and adjust it whenever you want to. So what I want to showcase before I have not done this, using the text option to put onto your keyring. The text option is really neat, a lot easier than going into the shapes and individually pulling out each letter. This one you just pull out the text and then you can write what you want to write. So I'm going to write my nickname on it. And then after I did that, I figured out that I need to pull out the box shape a little bit, which is fine. So I have to make it a little bigger. But I want to make sure I have enough space on the left side for the hole to make the keychain as we go along. So one of the neat features that the text has, you can see how you can adjust the different fonts. So there is the serif font, sans mono, and then as well as the sans. But I'm going to stick to the multi-language just my favorite, and you can and one of the things I want to show you is the bevel. The bevel works like it's bolding out the fonts. I'm going to change the color so you can see what I mean. In traditional fonts, when you bold it, it just makes it thicker lines. That's what the bevel is doing. And then the segments, the more segments you have, as you see, I'm trying to zoom in a little bit. You can see on the corners, especially, the more segments that there are, the rounder out the corners are. So you see one segment that's very pointy, two segments, it's just one cut, and then three, so and then and so forth. So you can see how the segments adjust the sizing of the text as well as the bevel. Now that I like what I've done with the text, I'm going to add some extra fun features to the keychain. So I'm just grabbing simple shapes from the basic shape tools section. And just so you're aware of, whenever you print out something and it is leveled with something else, you're not going to be able to see the other thing too well. So in this case, I have the star leveled out with a good half portion of the M and then the S and A, so you will not be able to see the S, A, and M when it prints out, or it's going to print out very leveled. So you want to see it. So for example, here, if I left the star here, it would be leveled out with the box. You probably wouldn't be able to tell it's a star shape. It might just look like a couple of sharp edges. So I'm bringing down the size to a 4. And now you can see the layer of the star, you can see the layer of the name, and so on. So I like how this is going so far. I want to drag in another shape. And I want to rotate the shape just to give it more, like some new direction. So I have the heart down here, I adjusted it. And I'm going to keep it the same size as the star because I like how the star, you can see the star, you can see the name, and you can see the bottom of the keychain. And now I can even, if I wanted to overlap it with this, overlap the heart with the star, I can move the star or the heart anywhere. I'm going to add another star now. So you can keep doing this and add more shapes and variations. So the final piece to the keychain is to have a hole in it. So I dragged out the cylinder hole shape and I adjusted the sizing to 5.5. You can see here, it makes sure that your cylinder hole goes through the key ring. So I'm pushing it down, and then I'm going to group the whole piece, the key ring, the text, and the other shapes. You're going to see the hole is going to come on through. So you see this is going to be the final key ring. So if this is what you're ready to send to print, this is it. So what you want to do here, you have your cylinder shape. It's the same size as the other key ring. It's 5 tall. And what I'm trying to do is drag the tube shape and put it over the circle. Now you want to make sure that the tube shape, you can leave it leveled with your circle, with the cylinder, or if you want to just have it come out a little bit, you can. But keep in mind, just really think about like 3D, how is it going to look when it's done? So right now it does look like they're overlapping, but that's perfect. That's what you want because it's going to be leveled. So up in the tube feature, you have the option to increase the size, which is going to be making the whole shape a lot rounder. I always like to do that with my projects. The bevel is just going to round out the edges again. You probably don't want to do that because then you might see some indent in the overall tag. The radius is going to be the outside portion. I'm going to keep it as is, which is a 10. And the wall thickness is what's going to be on the inside. So I'm adjusting it here. I think I'm going to stick with a 2.5 size. It's not too thin. And then I also want to make sure that the piece is further into it enough so that nothing is too thin. If it's too thin, it's going to possibly snap off. So that's something you want to consider as well. You don't want to have a very thin piece to your 3D print. Chances are it could get caught on something. It might break easily. So please keep that in mind when you're making these. So for example, with the wall thickness, you can make it really, really thick. But if you make it really, really thin like this, chances are it's going to either not print right or it might just break off easily when you're taking off supports. So for the wall thickness, I'm going to settle on a 2.5. I think that's a good number that is thick enough and it's also easy to remember. You can do the same thing for the text. I'm just adding text on here and I'm changing it to dog just to keep it simple. But you're welcome to change it into any, if you want to make it actual dog tag, you can add your dog's name or your cat's name if you want to make a cat tag. Two, you can always resize the text like this. You can also make sure you also check the sides of the text to make sure that the lettering isn't so far up. Just because if it's too far up, it just might look a little odd. But if you want it that way, you can make it that way. And just remember, once again, do not have the text go all the way into the tag, otherwise you will not see it when it's printed. This would be a very good first project for those who have never tried TinkerCAD before. You can make a fun creation out of it as you learn. Just once again, you can take another shape from any of the design or the tools that they have in TinkerCAD and just add your own embellishments, whether you want to just make it a key ring by adding a circle or like I'm doing with this mustache piece, or if you want to just add a little two-piece on there to make it stand out or make the ring stand out like a dog tag like I showed you earlier. So yeah, this is basically the project. So I hope you have fun and you make some great key rings. And let me know when you're ready to print them out. Send me an email and I'll print them out when I see your email. Thanks. Bye.